Hi everyone, my name's Paulina and I have another reading. This is a reading for Leo, the sign of Leo, and it has no cards, so it's an intuitive reading. And it could also be if you have Mars in Leo, Mercury in Leo, Leo, Moon, Sun or Rising, really. Or, Chiron and North Node Leo. So if you have, or even Lilith, okay? So if you have some pretty prominent, covering all the hot spots, you could even do, like, if you're medium Kali, like your career is in Leo. So whatever, Leo energy here. So, but it is addressed heavily to Leos themselves. But if you have any of those other placements, hop on, hop in. Here we go. Okay, I have to hydrate. Okay, Leo, I'm just gonna try to... I was called to do an intuitive reading instead of using cards because, well, when I think of Leo energy in general, I think of intuition, which may not be everyone's thought with Leo. But the fire signs are extremely intuitive in terms of spirit and life force. What will sustain us? So I'll quickly go through my summation of the fire signs. There is Leo, there's Aries, which is like birth or the explosion or the Big Bang, I am here, the infant. And then it's also the ram. Then there's Leo, the child who plays with the fire and makes things happen with the fire and makes art with the fire. And we could also think of Aries as an art, really all the signs are artists, but if we're thinking of the art of Aries, it's that sort of just like intensity coming from the subconscious to consciousness. And then we have Sagittarius, which is that sustainer of the flame that is used for philosophy to guide us as humans in the dark night of the world. So yeah, it's a pretty intense element. I'm just going to tune in a little bit though, because I'm just explaining why I chose to use no cards. I'm seeing a plant, like it has a lot of little leaves on it, and maybe it's in a pot, and it has like, it's like long arms that have many leaves. And I'm seeing this as symbolic of you right now, Leo. I think that you have a lot of abundance to actually give, and you actually have, I can also relate that image, it reminds me of an octopus. You may have like a lot of things going on. You're like, maybe you're helping multiple people. Remember, Leo is a very generous sign. But I think the plant is being shown because you need to remember to water your own garden, and also because, remembering to let things grow on their own. I can feel, I'm sort of leaving the reading in terms of my logical mind now. Okay, so you have to let things grow on their own, because if you don't let things grow on their own, they're gonna get overgrown, or they could get dried out. And if you leave it be and just water it on a schedule, the way that you've been told by the people at the plant store, sorry, I'm channeling now, so talking a little funny. If you just do the instructions, but don't meddle, don't interfere, what is growing in your life will grow. And I know there's a lot of things growing. There's many, many things for you, Leo. Leo, I'm seeing arrowheads like made by Native Americans, like carved little stones made into arrows. You can look them up on the internet. It's a very common tool used by Native Americans. I think you've felt like you had to shoot out something. You had to like put yourself out there, not realizing that Leo energy is boss energy, that just you are out there. A lot of Leos and extreme Leo placements, the main issue, which sounds like it wouldn't be, because Leos love attention, even though they can be a little shy, they do, that's sort of the conundrum here. Sort of a shy sign that loves to perform and they love myths, mythology in general, because they love the myth of man. They find it so fascinating. I'm sorry, that was me again. I'm just gonna let spirit do the reading again. Okay, back to this airhead. You felt like you had to push yourself out there, but you're not seeing that. I was gonna say, sorry, spirit, I'm coming in again. A lot of Leos cannot step into fame, and that's what they're meant for. It may not be like some famous actress on TV, but it may be fame in your community, or like being seen, being known, and that is very important to let yourself be seen. Let your powers, let your strength be known in the community, because actually you're opposite Aquarius, which is about the community. So a lot of Leo sons will have jobs, their careers may interact with community, serve the community, and also a lot of Leo people may have just like circuits sort of people, or like circles of people that they really like to hang with, like a group, they really like group activities. Sorry, just flashed you. They really like group activities because of being opposite Aquarius, which is about groups, and activism. The arrow, you don't need to project yourself out. People see you, trust me. It's sort of more about flowing with that energy, and letting it guide you, because you have a lot of intuitive strength, Leo. Strength. You had to be strong when you were a kid. I know that's a Leo cliche, but this Leo that's watching, you had to be super strong when you were a kid. I don't know why. You fill in the blank for me. You made yourself super strong, because it was like, sorry, it was just my dog snorting, because she's like self-soothing with her on her bed. Okay, spirit said strong. I feel like you felt like you had to be strong, and it made this armor as you got older, and now it's like it's hard to let others in, and that's relating to the plants too. There is a Buddhist thing that I've talked about before. It's from a famous Buddhist monk. It's like, if you let go a little, you find a little relief. If you let go a lot, you find a lot of relief, or something like that. Leo, you can struggle with control. You're a sign of control. I think you need to spend more time grounding your energy, because the need to give to others and be this like knight in shining armor, it won't be met well if you're not grounded in your energy. And also, if you're not empowered, and I feel that there's several situations you're not empowered in your life, and you need to just sort of like tighten up those bootstraps. I don't know what they are. Figure it out. You're really sort of like an intense sign. Like you're really good at allocating what your will is and creating that. So I don't actually know what the problem is here. I'm going to listen a little here. Okay, so the inner child is like, you don't feel strong enough, actually. You don't feel like you can handle the stuff that you're going through. But you can. That's why I was hearing strength. You can handle it, and there's more strength that you don't even know about from your childhood. There's more intuitive guidance that you gave yourself that you don't even realize because you were a child. I'm just hearing the word play, because Leo is a sign of play and being playful. It's the child. Also, it's the lion, which plays in the fields. In the plains, in theory. Play is a part of sort of those creatures, and also just all like adjacent creatures such as dogs, Okay, now I'm thinking about hyenas. I don't remember what the symbolism of a hyena is, but... Okay, the laughter of a hyena. I feel like there's been someone laughing at you, or you felt laughed at, you know? You felt like a laughing stock, but I don't think that's real. I think that's in your mind, Leo. And I think that actually you hold a very important role in this world that you may not see it yet. You may not be evolved. It's really, you have to step into your power is the answer to this journey here. And I'm sorry, it's going to be uncomfortable. You may have to overcome some shyness. You may have to put yourself out there in some ways that you never thought you would. But if you don't do that, you're going to be like closed. So whatever urges you're having and whatever, and then you're probably having the counter thought because you're so close to Virgo, like, oh no, I can never do that. I never put myself out there like that. Oh, that's too self-absorbed. Oh no, people will think this. I can never do that. But if you could. So I'm sort of pushing the Leos here, and Spirit is pushing me to tell you to just like not be afraid to be outlandish. You're like the most bombastic sign. I mean, just your sense of style alone and your presence. You have such stage presence. Even if you're not an actor, usually you have some sort of relationship to the stage and theater. But, you know, I can't help every slight thought in a reading. I was thinking about how in what is it? The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Aslan is the lion, and he stands for actually Jesus in the symbolism, because C.S. Lewis was a very Christian writer. You felt a little crucified in some situation in your life, and I feel like if you know that book, there's also this like closet they go into where they go into a different world. I think you've been like daydreaming and imagining, like, because to like a mental escape, maybe thinking about someone or something, because things are kind of boring and doldrums and whatever. But yeah, I think that I'm also I'm laughing. There's something really funny about you, Leo. I feel like you keep like sort of knowing what you should do and then being like, no, I'm not gonna do that. You're like, well, you know what's really good self-promotion is to do this, and then you're like, I'm just gonna like have tea or something, because you have a fixed nature, right? So you may be fixed within yourself where you're like, you know, it would be a really good idea, Leo, if you did this to like put yourself out there so people could see your skill or your talent or your whatever, or maybe you're a sign of art. So you probably have some sort of art to give us. And so and then the other voice comes in that says, you know what, I'd rather just actually watch TV right now because that's what I want to do. So they see those like parts within you fighting with themselves, but it's up to you, Leo. I'm parked right in front of number 9, so I have to put that in the reading here. Number 9 is a sign of humanitarianism. It envelops all the others. It's a number of humanitarianism. It envelops all the other numbers below it. So it's like kind of the people who have number 9, which I don't know if you do in your numerology, either your name or your birthday or something. If you have a prominent 9 somewhere, you have many gifts, and I'm sensing that in the Leo that's watching. You have many abilities, like skills that you could offer us to humankind. And here's the end of the reading. Which one, if any of them, hopefully all of them, are you going to offer to yourself?